Men, I'm gonna give you 7 tips that will improve your sex life. And any wives watching, you can back me up in the comments. In the end of the video, I'll also share a bonus tip of something that you absolutely want to avoid because that will undo everything else. Number 1, save it for marriage. Imagine having a friend who just bought a car, super excited. He shows you the car, opens the door, and is like, look, a chair. And he just sits there. And for the rest of his life, he buys different cars and just sits in them. That's our dumb culture today. Sorry for being a bit blunt about it, but it is. Our culture just looks at one part of the sex experience, a physical feel-good moment, and it's just focused on that one thing and completely forgets what it's actually designed for. Because sex is not an accidental find by humanity. God intentionally designed sex to be part of our human experience, which means there's a purpose behind it. Sex isn't just about a physical feel-good moment. It's about something much more long-lasting and fulfilling. It's about creating a deep connection between two human beings in a way that nothing else can. To bind you together emotionally, spiritually, of course physically, but not just in the way that you think. Sex releases, for example, a hormone called oxytocin, which increases feelings of trust and closeness to this other person. It's meant to give you and your wife a unique way of being close to another human being. Something that's just for you and your wife to experience and no one else. It's just between the two of you. And that gives you a fuller experience of love. It's like adding a new dimension to love. So no matter if culture tells you men should sleep with as many women as they can, or they mock you for being a virgin, let them sit on their car chair in their driveway. You know better. Number 2, talk about the past. If you're like me and you found out about that previous tip too late, hope is not lost. Sure, your sex experience may not be as pure as it was intended to be, but it is possible to heal and restore that. I found that talking with my wife about my past was very healing. And when I say that, I don't mean retell all the exact graphic details. Don't do that. But just to sit down together with your wife or with your potential future wife when you're in a later phase of your courtship, to go through your sexual journey that kind of brings out things that can benefit your relationship. Because private things like these can easily become something that you feel ashamed of, guilty, and you try to hide it. And it can actually become an obstacle in your relationship, which is actually detrimental to that closeness. By being open and vulnerable, clears that path, and you showing that you're not trying to hide anything from her also gives your wife a greater sense of security and trust in you. Like there may be wounds from the past or experiences that have shaped your view of sex, struggles that you're still facing today because of former behavior. That's good to talk about, so your wife can understand you better, knowing where you're coming from. So you're on the same page and you can move forward and work on it as a united team. And knowing that there's nothing in between you, not even among those most private of things, that's a very liberating feeling. That will help you to come closer to each other and bring that healing, and that will benefit your sex life. Number 3, play hard to get. We live in a world of instant gratification. You want it now? You get it now. But if I show you this picture, many of you will know what I'm about to say. There's been many studies done that have found that delayed gratification, so not immediately getting what you want, has very positive effects on you. Like if you get sex every time when you just kind of feel for it, it becomes less meaningful and fulfilling. But when you play hard to get instead, it will do the opposite. And I don't mean making it hard to get for your partner, but for yourself. You intentionally apply the delayed gratification principle to yourself. So you initiate a physical connection with your wife. You hug her, you kiss her, you cuddle, but you don't take it any further. Don't pursue that orgasm. Not only will this make it more special and rewarding when you do take it further, but it will also help you to appreciate more the other ways in which you can be close to her. When they are not just a means that you kind of need to get through to get to your orgasm. No, you'll enjoy them more and more by themselves. And that has a bonus effect, which will help you with number 4, be selfless. Sex isn't about what you can get as much as it is about what you can give. And I hate to break it to you, but typically women care a bit less about orgasms than we as men. Now, that doesn't mean that you can never get an orgasm even though she doesn't, but it should make you care more about other ways in which you can please her through physical touch. And guess what? Many women like hugs and kisses and cuddling, even holding hands or getting a massage. And she will love to see you doing those things without always having this kind of agenda to want to take it further. When you learn that delayed gratification, it shows her that you care about her, want to express your love for her, and not just use her to satisfy your sexual needs. And the happier your wife is, the better your sex life with her will be. Number 5, talk with your wife. Communication isn't just the key for relationships in general, but also for your sex life. Sex should be something that you can openly talk about with each other. Share what you like and don't like, what you like to try or do differently, what your ideal sex life looks like. It's okay to have preferences. It's okay to want to explore different things that are within the context of a holy and pure design. It's okay to feel that you have needs, and it's good to talk about it together. And of course, wanting to be that selfless lover like we just talked about, I would say that it's even more important than you sharing all this information with her to ask these questions from your wife so that you can better understand her and see how you can make her happy. Number 6, keep it fresh. Yeah, just very practical, don't need to spend much time on this point, but take care of yourself. Keep it fresh down there. It's the sweatiest part of the body and it gets the least amount of fresh air, so clean underwear, wash, trim, just keep it fresh. In my research, I found that women are not necessarily united on the opinions of smells. Some are more attracted to the pheromones, which is the natural smell, while others want their man to wash right before sex. So just talk with your wife and see what you can do to make her experience with you as positive as you can. Number 7, create good vibes. If you're gone all day at work and then you come home and then you kind of complain on the food that she's cooked, you're not helping with getting the kids ready for bed, then you're just being a couch potato for the rest of the evening, and then you say, hey, let's have sex. You think she'd be excited about that idea? Your wife will be much more in the mood and wanting you if you behave like a real man. You take responsibility in the house. You help your wife. You give her compliments that show that you've noticed the things that she's been doing in the house. Take time to play with your kids. Wives love to see that. You bring a positive atmosphere with you. You sit your wife down. You ask her about her day, showing genuine interest. You do the hug, kiss, and cuddle thing. And these vibes in your home will make your wife want to be closer to you. Now, before I tell you one thing that destroys your sex lives, which you must absolutely avoid, share in the comments what you think about the tips. And if you have any other tips for us, men, it is okay for us to talk about sex as Christian men. And I actually think we need to do that more because we're surrounded by so many toxic ideas. We need to talk more about the holy ideas. Just make sure to not get too graphical or personal. So those were the 7 tips that will improve your sex life. Now something that you must avoid because it can destroy more than these 7 tips can help. And that is porn. Though it's getting more and more normalized and even promoted in society, it's more destructive than what you can imagine. It makes sex even more just about you and your needs. It's fueling this selfish lust while watching other people abusing this gift of God, just committing adultery for millions to enjoy. There's no emotional or spiritual connection between those people. The only thing that connects them is the love for money that they want to make off of your back. They want to destroy your mind, make you lose control over yourself so you get addicted to them, programming you to see women as tools to give you pleasure so that you can just go from one to the other. No big deal. If you are married and watching porn, you can be 100% sure that it has hurt your wife in ways that you don't even think about, which can even for her be on a subconscious level. The porn industry is exploiting your lust, completely corrupting your view of what a holy, healthy sex life should be like. And I know, because even though it was 10 years ago, I'm still dealing with the consequences of my own former porn addiction. We need to fight against this. And let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video about how to overcome porn addiction. I'll then put the link to that video in the description below when it comes out. Make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, reply to each other's comments. Let's encourage each other and let's continue growing to become real men of God.